Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Eleanor and this is my January reading wrap up. I'm just going to quickly talk you through all the books I read in January and what I thought of them. Next week or later this week I will be reading my first kind of full month long reading vlog for January. It'll be a very long video. So if you'd rather watch the vlog where you get my step-by-step kind of impressions of each of the books, wait for the vlog. But otherwise I know some people don't really like vlogs, so I wanted to still continue to make these wrap-ups for the time being to see how it goes, because some people prefer watching wrap-ups and some people prefer watching vlogs, so I wanted to just cater to both of her now and see where we go. I had a fantastic reading month for January 2021 and I'm so excited by that. It just sets me up well for the rest of the year for my reading. The first book I read was Pyramids by Terry Pratchett. I read that on my Kindle as part of my 12 months of kind of Terry Pratchett kind of trying to read more of the Discworld. You're following a young boy who goes off to assassin training and he later comes back to his kingdom, which is kind of like based on Egyptian kind of mythology, and it's obviously a kind of spoof of that. Terry Pratchett takes the mick out of everything. He comes back to be king because his father has died, and the whole story is him. They're trying to make the biggest and best pyramid for his deceased father, and it's him taking over the kingdom, Tepic, him taking over the kingdom, and it's just everything Egyptian, like mythology, everything Egyptian culture kind of amplified and made ridiculous. He's very satirical, Terry Pratchett, so if you like Egyptian mythology and you want to have a laugh, I would recommend Pyramids because it's one of the kind of standalone kind of Terry Pratchett books. It's not part of a bigger series, and all the characters in that I don't believe really crop up anywhere else. So it would be a good random one to start if you're interested in Egyptian mythology. It's quite a random one. But yeah, it's really ridiculous, and I have an individual review on my channel. I'll leave it linked below if you're interested. The next book I finished was Ink Death by Cornelia Funk. This is the third and final book in the Inkworld trilogy, and I was buddy reading this with Faye from Books and Chocoholic. I'll leave her channel linked below, and we were buddy reading this trilogy, and Kayla started buddy reading Inkheart with us, the first book, but it wasn't for her, so Faye and I continued on and finished the trilogy, and I loved rereading this. It was great. It brought me right back to my childhood. I haven't reread this book since like more than 10 years ago, so it was great fun being in this world again. I think Ink Death is my favourite out of the three books, so I'll just summarise kind of Inkheart as a whole, because third one for spoilers. You're following Maggie, who is like 12 years old, and her and her father kind of travel around Italy, and her father Mo is a bookbinder, and they travel around Italy and he binds books. There's a secret as well. Maggie's mother vanished and they don't know, Maggie doesn't know why. A stranger comes calling when they're living in their house, obviously in a house. A stranger comes calling and Maggie doesn't know why he's there, and adventure kind of ensues, and there's full of magic. There's some really strange and unusual characters, and there's something strange that Mo can do, and I don't really know what else to say because it's such huge spoilers for the series. You're best not going in with a lot of preconceived notions. This is a series for those who love books about books, because the main thread of this book is a book called Inkheart, and it's very intertwined with all these characters that are obsessed with this book Inkheart, and you need to find out why and what's going on, and yeah, it was great. So I loved rereading this. The next book I read was Bacan, Achiana Theta, and this is a book in Gaelic, and I was translating this for my Gaelic class, and the illustrations are lovely because they're by the wonderful Quentin Blake, and so yeah, so I finished this in January because we spent ages translating it for class. It's about Bacan, the main character, and a boy going to a pet shop, and instead of buying one animal, they buy the whole pet shop. Next, I read Grave Surprise and An Ice Cold Grave by Charlene Harris. This is books 2 and 3 in the Harper Connolly series. I reread these all the time. They're just such a comfort read for me. I reread these all the time. They're just such a comfort read for me, this world. You're following Harper Connolly, who was struck by lightning as a teenager, and she can now sense dead bodies. And when she comes in contact with a dead body, she can see their last moments of life and knows what killed them. So you're following Harper and her step-brother, Tolliver, as they travel around America and help solve kind of crimes and mysteries and missing persons and stuff. A lot goes down, and I just love rereading the series. It's just such a comfort read for me, and I can whiz through them because the books are quite short, and I really like Charlene Harris's writing. And the next books I read were Deadline and Blackout by Myra Grant. These are books 2 and 3 in the Newsflash trilogy, and I was buddy reading this with Faye from Books and Chocoholic and Kayla from Reading Cloud. We were buddy reading this whole series, and in February we're starting with, what's it called? Feedback, which is basically the first book, Feed, told from a different perspective. So I'm interested to get to that soon. I loved this trilogy. So good. Feed, basically, the first book, because 2 and 3 have such huge spoilers. So in Feed, you're following the characters Georgia and Sean, who are kind of adopted kind of siblings that are like news bloggers, and they're following the presidential race in America. And this is like 25 years after the zombie apocalypse, and the zombie virus is called Kellett's Amberley because of how it was created and what happened. So this is a very unique kind of zombie post-apocalyptic world, because they're still dealing with the zombies, but they have kind of a sense of society back. So there is still like a presidential race, and they're bloggers instead of traditional news media people, and so they follow the presidential candidate, and there's lots and lots of zombie madness. As the series goes on, you learn more about the virus. There's much more scientific things about it, and I love the science in this series. I feel like Myra Grant does a really great job of grounding it in kind of reality to begin with, and it might get more far-fetched as you go along, but because it's kind of been a gradual incline and you learn more and more, I feel like it's done very naturally and in a really clever way. And yeah, a very, very unique take on a zombie story, and I loved it so much. I've got an individual book review up on my channel for Feed, but I'm not doing that for these books because I believe the 3 of us are going to do a live show discussion at some point for the series. I don't know when that'll be in, so watch this space and I'll tell you about it when it comes up, and we're going to discuss the whole series once we've read Feedback as well. So yes, I had a fantastic reading month, reading lots of favourite things with my friends. And the last book I read in January was The Night Watch by Sergei Lukianenko. I'm very sorry. This is a book that's been translated from Russian into English. This is an urban paranormal fantasy, and it's set in like the late 1990s. You're following Anton, who is an other who's part of this world, and he's part of the Night Watch, and the Night Watch patrol the people of the night, so the evil people or the dark people. And the dark people have a day watch and they police the light people because everything's about balance. And the magic system in this world is so fascinating and really interesting, and I love how it works. It takes a little bit of a while to get into it and to understand what's going on, but I felt really clever. Everything has to be done with balance. So if the good do a good deed, the evil people are allowed to do an equal bad deed, because everything must be balanced. So it just means that everyone's got to be quite careful and consider what's worth it, if you know what I mean. So if the good save a person's life, it means the bad people are allowed to take someone's life, because that's an equal kind of trade-off. So everything's about balance. They're all about policing each other, and they've been in this state of like kind of balance limbo for a good few hundred years, I think, since they created the watches to police each other. You're following Anton, who's like a computer programmer, and he gets pulled into a kind of a bigger problem in the watches, and yeah, it's all about him like being like, he's not a field agent, he's a computer programmer. So yeah, adventure ensues from there, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to reading the rest of the series. So that was kind of a whirlwind. I'm so pleased I got so much read in January, really starting my year off strong. And here we go. Here's my January, I'll put it there, my January bullet journal spread. I gave everything at least a 4 or a 5 star, so I'm so pleased with that. And I read really consistently, and I think that was hugely helped by the buddy reads, because we were sectioning off the book and I had a certain amount to read every day, and that's a huge motivator for me, especially if I'm loving the series and I'm really engaged with my friends and we're discussing the book as we go. It's such a huge motivator for me to read every day, and I loved it. So I've read really well every day. I haven't obviously read today yet, it's the 31st, I haven't marked in what I'm reading because I'm still reading. But yeah, I'm really enjoying everything that's going on right now. So my January 2021 reading month has been excellent. Keep an eye out for my first big reading vlog that'll be up soon, and be sure to subscribe if you aren't already, and leave any questions that you want answered in the comments below. I'd love to have a chat with you, and I'll see you in the next video.